I'm Emma, and this is my birthway. And we, I guess, Jason and I, we're getting more excited. It seems more real. Like, I feel like I just hit a milestone. Well, I don't know, double digits. Okay, now I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm 10 weeks pregnant now, and double digits seems like a place to be. Like a really, I got to double digits. I mean, there was a high chance I would, but, or a majority chance that I would anyway. And it just feels very exciting. And I've been feeling healthy and good. And I'm realizing when I look back on the majority of the first trimester that like I had an easy first trimester. And of course I'm kind of a whiner anyway, but like looking back, like I'm just grateful that I didn't have really intense morning sickness. I only threw up the one time when I was actually sick. And I'm just, I feel overall happy with the way things are going so far. And think I'm liking being pregnant a little bit more. I think I'm definitely used to it. Now I just feel like, oh, I've always been pregnant. This is just the reality. It's not like a new weird thing anymore. It's just more like the reality. And I think the fact that you can see my stomach a little bit, I think I said it last week, has affected me some, and it's affected Jason some. So I think it's more like, oh, this is a real thing. Even though we know it's real, it's just cooler to see it manifest into, the physical world in a way that we can see. So this week, I'm feeling pretty similar to the way I was feeling last week. More energy. I feel like there's been less drastic physical changes in the past few weeks than there was before. And sometimes for women, this is like the height of when they have a lot of morning sickness. But mine is definitely past. My height was weeks ago. I started a little early with the morning sickness and ended early. I mean, it's not over, but it's not nearly as noticeable for sure. And so I'm hoping that trend will continue and it will be less and less and less until it just goes away. And then I'll start pounding the chicken and the duck and all the stuff that's grossing me out right now. Hot dogs have been really interesting to me now. And I found a really great brand. Don't remember the name, but it's grass-fed, organic beef hot dogs, really good ingredients and no preservatives. So I'm like, check plus. I'm going to eat that plus a ton of sauerkraut, like the real sauerkraut with like that's salt preserved that has all the good stuff in it. And like pickles and ketchup and like I've really been wanting peas and green beans. Oh, my parents gave me some of their green beans that they had frozen, that they had grown and cooked and then frozen. Oh, I just like inhaled the pint. It was like a pint of green beans and then another pint of green beans. I just like ate them all in one sitting one day. Or, one pint and then another day. So freaking delicious. So I've really been wanting vegetables and still I've been wanting fruits. Have not been craving the bread that I said weeks and weeks ago I was feeling like I needed sometimes. Every now and again I'll have a piece of bread with like an epic amount of really good grass-fed yellow butter on it. So good. And that's, I can tell that is I want the butter, not really the bread. So I should just figure out what else I can eat butter on. Just like, I should just eat butter by the slice maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so that has been delicious. Let me look at my journal that I've written about this week in case I forget something. Oh, I've also noticed, and I looked this up too, is it's common during this period to start to have more vaginal discharge. And I definitely do. It's not colored. It's just like normal, as though I was not a pregnant person discharge, a little bit white and creamy maybe. So that's interesting. That's happened. It's not a lot more, but it's definitely more. And I'm still wanting food that is cooked elsewhere, even more than in my own house, even though I can still do some cooking. I've finally been able to eat eggs again. I was eating some eggs, but not many eggs, and I'm annoyed that I couldn't eat too many more. But we've been doing egg drop soup with our duck eggs in our chicken broth, and oh, so good. So I need to make some more broth today because we ran out. I've still been loving fruit. I'm still hungry, like really often. I have to eat a lot, which speaking of which, I need to go in 2 seconds and eat because my stomach's rumbling. And I've noticed too that there's even more of a pattern to when I need to eat. And I sort of noticing it before, but I need to eat immediately after I get up, and I kind of been waking up too late, so I'm already grumblingly hungry. But as soon as I get vertical, my stomach is like, okay, now eat. You're not sleeping anymore. Eat. So I've been eating like usually a couple pieces of fruit in the morning. And this morning I actually had some sardines, which was a strange flavor choice, but I was like, I need to get some of that in there. So I had some of those with some fruit. And then I'm going to have a second breakfast, which I'll probably have a couple hot dogs, and try to have some peas and maybe some of the lentils I made. maybe just some fresh celery and carrots. That's been yummy to me lately too. And then I'm going to make some of the broth. So maybe I'll have like a egg drop soup for like another lunch with maybe, I don't know what else I'll have today. We're kind of running low on food right now, but I've been really liking soups of all kinds. It seems to fill in all those gaps. I don't know if you noticed, I just burped. I've still been, excuse me, burping a lot. Not as much as I feel like I was before, which is good because burping is, I don't know why, it's just so gross to me. Even grosser than farting. I don't know why, it just is. So yeah, and then let's see. So I think weeks ago, Jason and I were like solidly brainstorming names. We already pretty much have a name picked out if the child is a girl. We don't if it's a boy. We thought we did, but I changed my mind. I don't know. It's not official. That's harder to pick boy names to me anyway. But we've had a girl name in mind for a really long time, so I imagine that will be it, but maybe it will change. And originally I was thinking that it was a girl for sure. And now I don't know. Now I'm just in the middle ground here. I don't really have an opinion either way. So I'm not going to comment on it until I get like a more clear opinion, and then I'll maybe speculate about if it's a girl or a boy again. So that's something. Oh, but we also discussed like doing godparents. I'm not religious at all. Jason's family is a little bit religious. I'm very spiritual. We're both very spiritual. So we're not going to do, a godparent ceremony the classic way, but we're still going to do godparents because godparents are very important in his family. And I like how important it is in his family. I have godparents, but it's less of a discussion about what a bond you have with godparents. And I think it's a really cool symbolic thing. And Jason and I are all about symbology. We were going to do godparents, one godmother, one godfather. For a while, I thought about doing maybe a trinity of godmothers, like a maiden, a mother, and a crone godmother for each kid, like a young child maiden as a godmother, and then like a mother, someone my age, and then a crone, which is sort of a negative connotation, but an old wise grandmother character. But instead, I think we're just going to do one godmother for each kid if we have another kid. So I think we've kind of decided who those godparents will be. So that's kind of exciting. And that will remain a secret for a good long time, I'd say. I don't know if we're going to keep the name a secret. But if we haven't decided, then we won't be telling anybody because we haven't decided. So anyway, so that's where we are now. 10 weeks feels really exciting because I'm looking at the end of the first trimester. We're nearing the end of the first trimester. And then I feel like, hey, I'm a solidly pregnant person. Like I got past the period where there's a higher chance of having a miscarriage. That's just a reality. And where there's a higher chance of having, teratogens, which is just anything that can negatively affect your baby, like smoking or drinking, which I'm not doing, obviously. Inhaling funky air or, chemicals or whatever, how those things aren't going to be able to affect the baby as much. It's not going to change any of my habits, but still, knowing that is nice. And just knowing that as every day goes on, it looks more and more like the baby I'll meet in July or maybe early August. So 10 weeks seems pretty exciting, and I feel like time is going so much faster than I thought. For a while there, it felt like it was so freaking slow, and I just wanted it to speed up. And now it's going kind of fast, and maybe I don't want it to speed up. I don't know. But things are great. And thanks for watching again, and I will give you another update in a week at 11 weeks. And comment if you want to say anything to me. Thanks so much. Bye.